Ladies and gentlemen, DogPack404, a friend of the channel, someone that we've been covering extensively who's been doing the videos about Mr. Beast being a fraud, being a sociopath, and he recently put out a third video about the secret CEO, which made some pretty crazy accusations that he said were backed up by people that he couldn't quite reveal and that he was looking into. I did coverage on the video saying that personally I think it was one of his weaker videos. A lot of you guys didn't like my opinion on it. Dogpack just made a very huge mistake, and he's basically come out and said that, yeah, this was a huge mistake, and it wasn't true. So this is one of the weakest points in my opinion. It's where he accuses this James Warren guy of, being abusive and doing things to his former partners. Again, this is him going off of things he heard from other people, but just listen and you'll kind of understand why I mean this doesn't look good from like a professional perspective, at least compared to the other content we have seen from Dogpack.
Heard that he's very aggressive. I've heard him referred to as a psychopath who screams at people and hits his girlfriends. There's allegedly domestic violence charges that were filed against him, and I say allegedly because it turns out there's a lot of people in North Carolina named James Warren who assault their girlfriends, I guess. So I'm still having people look into these cases, specifically that surprise witness on YouTube.
Here's the tweet. For example, it was put out earlier today at 2 p.m. He says, James Warren DV charges update. The 6 NC criminal court cases were not for DV, domestic violence. I still have some FOIA requests out, but an alleged current MrBeast employee reached out to me giving their side of the story. I think this person is mistaken with a lot of details, but I do now believe the James Warren DV cases that circulated the office was most likely the wrong James Warren. Of course, none of my sources knew that. I tried multiple times to get in touch with the person who allegedly found the charges before making my video and did not get a response. I should have waited for the FOIA requests before mentioning the DV charges allegations. However, I believe I was clear in my video that they were just allegations of charges. Charges are themselves unproven accusations, not convictions. I'm not a professional journalist or investigator. My goal is just to bring credible allegations to light so they can be properly investigated and people can be held accountable. I still believe there are other credible allegations involving James Warren that need to be investigated. So before we dive into, the tweets right here, I just want to kind of give you again why I stand by my original video, saying that this third video is not the best idea. Again, you guys are more than welcome to agree with me or disagree with me. Personally, I just think that coming out, being the face of an allegation is very dangerous, whether again you can say it's an allegation, you can say bluntly that it's hearsay. You are still putting out ideas on a large following. The larger your following, the more power your words have, and it ends up looking very bad if these are unjustified claims, unproven claims, or just blatantly false, like in this situation. Although they weren't, intended to be false, he was still looking into them. That's why it's important to wait, and that was one of my biggest gripes, is that he didn't really wait long enough. He didn't really let this one stay in the oven long enough to cook, and he ended up coming out with this, where now the people who were already kind of skeptical on Dogpack, that are slowly starting to not exactly trust him, now have once again another post that they can look at and say, I don't really trust this guy. Again, I'm still a fan. I'm still following all of this. I'm still following the journey of Dogpack and Jake Weddle and everything going on with the MrBeast games, the Beast situation. But again, this is one of those things where it makes someone like me, it makes someone like Quintheo, it makes someone like a chosen witness look bad, because we are on the side of Dogpack. We want Dogpack to, cover things that are true and be the voice of reason, revealing and saying all of these things to take down someone that's horrible. But when claims come out not being entirely true, it makes us look bad, and it makes Dogpack look just as bad, if not worse. Now, this is the part that I didn't include in my original video going over the coverage, but it does add a little bit more content.
James Warren, also allegedly an ex-drug addict. I've heard that he offered cocaine and hookers to editors to stay late. And then the really big thing is that there was some incident between him and a female colleague that resulted in the female colleague leaving the company and receiving 3 years in severance pay. I'm still actively looking into this incident, so if you have information, let me know. But I've heard from multiple credible sources that this is true and this did happen. Also, I should quickly
See, so while he said multiple credible sources, what his statement has done is invalidated these credible sources, and at this point has made it seem as though, it makes you question what else is considered a valuable source, that is no longer reliable.
clarify that a lot of this investigation is allegedly.
But he did include this part. Everything outside of court documents is allegedly. All parties are assumed innocent until proven guilty. Again, that's kind of hard to get away with when you have a following of this large. It's one thing to report on information, speculation. If you're like a news reporter and you go to a location to report something that is someone else's words, but to platform the ideas, you're essentially taking the blame for it, especially if no one else is, corroborating or willing to put a face to what they're saying. So here is the text message conversation that DogPack posted saying, "Do you know about the James Warren DV charges? People joke about this, but as far as I know, it's not true. One day we did a Google search in the office to check, but nothing. The originator of the rumors was Jimmy's ex-girlfriend, Maddie Spadell. Between you and me, she's a wine drunk and always wanted to gossip on set. She told me a lot, but everyone has to be nice to her because she was dating Jimmy. If you can't tell by now, MrBeast is filled with gossip, rumors, and toxic crap. New rumors every day. Dang, I heard blank found the charges and other corroborated, but okay. What do you know about LaQuia Hill? Blank is a saint. I was very close with her. She was there when we Googled, but that domestic case was another James Warren. Jokes were made, but it wasn't him. Yeah, those jokes seem to convince a lot of people. I've also heard from people who have witnessed James' domestic abuse firsthand." Now, again, this is kind of a situation where, judging by this source who gave him this information, it makes you question the source about like LaQuia Hill, everyone else. Again, I still think LaQuia Hill's a bit of a sicko. I think a lot of the other people who aren't exactly on DogPack's side can also kind of agree that LaQuia Hill's a bit of a sicko. And you definitely shouldn't have someone who works in a adult industry come on over to Switch and work for the MrBeast team. That's just a very weird situation and thing that happened. Again, though, I can't really corroborate any of the LaQuia Hill claims that involved, very illegal, terrible things. And again, judging by the comments, these are the detractors who are kind of waiting on DogPack's downfall. Unfortunately, Nicholas Diorio is someone who's kind of been watching this, kind of been going after me, going after Quintheo, going after a lot of us in the commentary channel who have been sweeping, as they would say. People who have been defending DogPack. On a lot of this stuff. I personally think I put my flag in the sand on part 3 by saying I think it was the weakest video. Either way, someone like Nicholas Diorio says all you had to do was wait a week, man. I don't know why this had to even be a discussion, and I can agree with that. Willie Mack says you don't have to be a professional journalist or investigator to know that this was a reckless and horrible thing to go forward with without confirming. You just push false allegations to 2 million people. Yeah, that's very true. Again, people are allowed to come out with accusations, people are allowed to come out with allegations and hearsay and opinions, but again, the larger you're following, the larger of an audience that you're going to bring in. The last few DogPack videos have hit 10 million views. That's potentially 10 million views that you are telling this guy did something horrifically illegal. I don't have the proof, just trust me, bro. And then it ends up coming out that your proof or sources weren't exactly reliable. Again, not a very good look. Again, I'm still friends with DogPack. I have nothing against Dawson. We all make mistakes. This was a huge mistake. Keem, who has recently been going back and forth with DogPack, just says ha 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 ha. He also has made very huge mistakes. He accused people of doing things with minors when they didn't. He has done a lot of things in his career, so I don't know what he's laughing about. Maggle says, so since beating wife allegations are false, were the dog beating allegations false? And see, this is just one of those things where by putting out that information, by putting out that video, you've given a lot of these people ammunition to now say, well, if that was wrong, what else is wrong? Because we already have people who are trying to poke holes in stories. And that's just the reality of journalism and like reporting. There's always going to be people like me who are trying to get ideas out. you know, again, I guess I kind of fall for the same things that DogPack does, where I claim I'm not really a journalist. You could say things I do are journalism, but I don't consider myself a journalist. I'm more about a commentary person. I read things that are public information. I talk about them, and I give people a platform if it's for them to share an idea. I think that DogPack made a huge mistake by being the person who has these anonymous people coming to him, and he is putting the ideas out there. When I platform someone, it's their ideas. I'm just kind of like associated with it, which by default makes me also a bit to blame, but I don't take 100% of the blame. I'm willing to take 50% of it for the most part. But in a situation like DogPack, he ended up accidentally taking 100% of the blame for putting out false information. And that's about it for today's video, my friends. As always, kind of excuse the mess. There's a lot happening. I'm moving very soon. When all of that is in order, I will be back to the constant uploads, back to live streaming. I do miss you all, and I do appreciate the support. As always, we are growing very fast. Of course, something has to happen in life to kind of throw a wrench in the gears, you could say. But as always, I appreciate the support. If you aren't already, please subscribe, like the video, share it. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.